Today's video is going to be about the best makeup products that no one talks about. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique Beauty, where we cover all things beauty and lifestyle for the over 50 women. So today's video is done in collaboration with my good friend Melissa from Mrs. Melissa M Beauty. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that I have collaborated with her a couple of times in the past, and I just love her channel. So I was watching her channel before I started my YouTube channel, and I was just drawn to her warm and bubbly and just nurturing personality. And even though her skin tone and hair coloring is very different than mine, she is blonde hair and fair, and I am dark and darker skin tone. But she does such in-depth review on products, and we both have mature skin. We both have drier skin, issues with makeup moving around the lines. I have more hyperpigmentation and dark spots than she has, but we definitely look for a lot of the same thing in makeup products. So I love her in-depth reviews. They are mostly drugstore, but she also does a lot of dupes, comparing the drugstore brands against higher end brands and saying which one she likes better and why. So after you've watched this channel, if you've not already visited Melissa, make sure you go and check her out. So I found this topic really interesting, the best makeup products that no one's talking about. And I realized as I was going through some of my older products or some of the products that I like that I don't hear a lot about on YouTube, that just because I have not heard people talking about them doesn't mean that they're not out there. You might have watched a lot of videos, especially if you watch a lot of videos from younger YouTubers, that maybe they are talking about these products, but these are products that I don't really hear about on other mature beauty channels that I watch. So they might be out there, they might be talked about a lot, but these are ones that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. So let's go ahead and get started. So I did prep my skin with the Embryolisse moisturizer. I use this all the time as a moisturizing primer because normally I'm just trying to have the plumpest skin before I apply my makeup. I don't always use a primer. I am starting to test out some primers, but the primers I'm testing out I hear about all the time, so they couldn't go into this video. And I actually do hear people talk about Embryolisse all the time too, but it is really one of my favorite moisturizing primers. So that's what I did for my base. On my face, I am wearing the Lawless. Okay, did I lose? Oh, it's right in front of me. I am wearing the Lawless Conceal the Deal foundation. It is a long-wearing, self-setting, full coverage foundation. I do agree. It is definitely self-setting, and when I wash my face at night and I use a white cloth, I still have makeup on, which a lot of times I don't at the end of the night. It is definitely long wearing. The shade has gotten just a tad bit light for me again. Another foundation that I really love that I don't hear people talk about is the Dose of Colors, and this is the Meet Your Hue foundation. My shade is 118 light medium. Oh, and I should have said my shade is tawny in this one. I first heard about the Dose of Color brand when I was at a cosmetic store for professionals in California called Namies, and they have a big display. So I was testing out the makeup, and I purchased several products from them, and I really like them, but pretty much I've seen them on Instagram, but I don't really see people talking about them. This is another nice, I would call this a medium coverage foundation. It is, to me, a typical liquid foundation. It's not a dry down foundation, but it has just really nice coverage. It works really well with my mature skin, and it covers my hyperpigmentation really well. So I don't hear people talk about it, but if it shows up on your Instagram and you're interested in checking it out, I would check it out. I did like all the products that I purchased from Dose of Colors. Okay, moving on to bronzer concealer. I am using the Persona Bronze Multi-Stick in Sahara. Persona is one of those clean makeup brands. I see it on Instagram, but I don't really see it a lot on more mature makeup channels. I really like it. It's very creamy going on. It blends out beautifully. It has a really nice color for me. It goes really well with my skin tone right now. It may or may not be dark enough in the summer months. I also layered it though with one of my favorite contours that I don't hear about a lot. I mean, this palette is so nasty looking, but it is Scott Barnes. I love Scott Barnes makeup. You're gonna hear me talk about him again shortly. And I love his bronzing palette, Sculpting Contour #1. The reason I love it so much is as I go into the summer months, whether you self-tan or you get natural sun or if you're outside a lot, but there's just so many shades. You can kind of mix them. Like I pretty much use this neutral shade under for contouring, but I can touch, just tap, tap, tap over several shades, or I could just kind of run back and forth to use as a bronzer just to add a little bit of warmth. It has some red undertones, yellow undertones, neutral undertones. It really is a beautiful palette. And I also think if you're not sure what undertone is best for you, it's a great one to experiment, and you can actually test out all the different undertones and see which one you like best on your face. Okay, over that I am wearing another product from Lawless, and this is their Make Me Blush, and my shade is Indian Summer. This is a powder blush. It is really long lasting though. A lot of times I've been using cream blushes. I've mostly been using cream blushes, but when I bought this last fall and I used it a ton, people were always asking me, what blush are you wearing? What blush are you wearing? Because I'm really bad at putting the products that I am wearing down below, if it's not what I'm talking about. And so this was the blush that I was wearing most of the time. It's what I'm wearing right now. I just think it is a beautiful, well, let me swatch it. It is a beautiful kind of neutral, slightly mauve-y, called Indian Summer. I just think it's such a perfect shade for me. Now, some of the other blushes that I love that I don't hear talked about, Rose Ink. They're sold at Sephora. I believe it's a clean brand also. They have that one in Azalea. This is a cream blush. This cream blush is probably one of my longest lasting blushes. Like literally, if I don't wash it off my arm, in 2 days, I will still have it on my arm and it will still look pink. So sometimes you have makeup that lasts a long time, but it kind of darkens or it just looks like a shade. This one still looks like a blush. This is a little brighter undertones. And then I really love the Wayne Goss Weightless Veil. I know he came out with 2 new colors, which I did not purchase because I like brighter shades. He came out with some more neutral shades. This one's Vivid Azalea. This is such a bright pink. And then this one is Bright Poppy, which is a beautiful corally shade. Now, of course, they're paired with highlighters that I do use also, but usually I just use the blush. Also extremely long-lasting blushes. And when he first came out with his blushes, everybody was talking about them. They were all over Instagram or all over YouTube, and then everyone stopped. But I still love using them. Again, I really love the bright colors. You don't have to put it on that bright. You can just use a soft touch, a light touch, and build up. They're very buildable. They don't come on just like a dark swatch of color. And I love them all. I feel like the Lawless one is the most neutral of them in undertone right now. Moving right along, we'll go with concealer, even though I probably should have done that before the blushes. I have not heard and people talk about this in a while, but I still really love the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty concealers. Got the big doe foot, very, very long lasting. This shade is 260N. It is a good shade for me right now. It'll be too light in the summer. I also like Rose Ink has a beautiful kind of moisturizing concealer. So this is a full coverage concealer. So this is when you're trying to cover up your hyperpigmentation or you definitely have some really dark circles that you really need that heavy coverage. Now, I feel like the Rose Ink is a brighter concealer. It's a creamier texture. This one's too dark for me now, which is why I can't wear it. But it is a beautiful texture, very moisturizing. It doesn't settle into the lines either. And it does provide light medium coverage. It is good coverage. Again, I use it more for brightening, which, is terrible that in the summer that is a brightening shade on me. But it is definitely a little bit too dark now. Another concealer that I do not hear people talk about, which I really enjoy, is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Concealer, Creamy Concealer. Another super long-lasting concealer that does not move into my fine lines. I have a winter color, which is 80W, no, 90W, 90W, and my summer color is medium dark 115W. Do really enjoy the concealers. I don't really hear a lot of people talk about them. Okay, eyeshadow. I'm going to go back also to the Scott Barnes eyeshadow palette. This is his Snatchural #1. I love this eyeshadow palette. You can see it's got a lot of love. And I love it so much because it's really pigmented, but buildable. So you don't have to go on really dark. If you pick one of the more mid-tone shades, you're not going to get a really dark splotch. I am wearing the shade Vintage and Saucy right now. So, whoops, sorry, got out of my focus point. I'm wearing the Vintage over my whole eyelid and then the Saucy kind of over my lid. You can use these wet or dry. And I just love this palette because it has your cooler, your neutrals, your more reddish undertones, your gold undertones, your cool gray tones. It is a perfect neutral palette. And I really don't hear people talk about it at all, but it is one of my favorite neutral palette, and the colors just build up. They last all the time. They're so beautiful. The darker ones go on beautiful as a eyeliner, and then they stay. The color will stay all day. Another palette that I had pulled for that I don't hear people talk about it, and then just today I heard Lisa J do a short video or a makeup of the day video or something using this palette. But this is the Super Nudes from Charlotte Tilbury. So it has 6 eyeshadow colors. She has a day eye and a date eye. So these are the day eye shades and these are the date shades. So you can kind of deepen things. These are warm, these are cool. So I think it's a really perfect neutral palette, also that's small enough that you can take with you when you travel. And the reason I like it is because they all have Charlotte Tilbury's, her little sheen. They're not a shimmer, they're not flat and matte. They just have such a little sheen to them, which is so natural, but it doesn't really emphasize texture or anything like that. So I do love this palette, again, if you're looking for something neutral. And then the third eyeshadows that I love, and I've talked about these before, but nobody else talks about them, so I am going to add it to the best makeup products. These are individual eyeshadows, and I will say there's probably 3 or 4 of these, like this one, that's not from this brand, but these are from The Perfect Face. She is a makeup artist. Danielle is a makeup artist out of Houston, and I did a makeup lesson with her all day. I did an all-day one-on-one makeup course, and I purchased all these beautiful shades. At the time, I picked these shades because I was doing makeup for my photography clients, so I wanted beautiful brown shades that look good for blue eyes, which kind of have more of that reddish undertone, and then the green eyes, which were more of the purpley plum shades, and then the brown eyes, well, we can wear, pretty much anything, but also going into these golden shades. So I was looking for a mixture of eyeshadows that would go with all different eye colors. Her eyeshadows blend so beautifully. They're so pigmented, and you can just pick your own shades. I picked them individually like this, so I could put them in a Z palette, but you can also get them in little cases. If you don't want to build your own palette, you can buy them individually in their own little pot. Yeah, they are beautiful, and then you really get to pick which shades you love. And finishing up with the eyes, which really could have been a start, I don't really hear a whole lot of people talk about the Sephora Collection Retractable Waterproof Brow Pencil. This one is a super thin brow pencil, and the reason I love it is in shade Granite, number 12, the darkest shade, which is really a almost black eyeshadow, or excuse me, eyebrow shade. And A lot of eyebrow pencils, especially drugstore, only go to a deep brown. Now, if you have dark or black eyebrows like me, sometimes you will know that sometimes you can see the brownish undertone. It doesn't blend. People are like, oh, you don't want to go so dark. Well, then give me more of a grade or an ashy color, because if you have dark brows like me, you know that a deep brown does not look as good underneath black eyebrows. You can see it, especially if they're very sparse and you're trying to fill in. Now, if you're trying to change the color, you don't want to go black if your brows aren't naturally black, because then it might be too harsh. But if you have black brows and you're just trying to fill in a few sparse areas, this Sephora collection has this really nice granite one. And then for eye pencils, well, you know I always talk about my Makeup by Mario eyeliner. I don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but I have heard some, so that's not really on my makeup nobody talks about. But the Wonder 2 brand has a Superstay eyeliner. I buy it on Amazon. Wonder 2 has an Amazon store, or you can also buy it on their website. But this is their Superstay Essential Brown, which is a really pretty brown. It's kind of another one of those black browns, so it's not a reddish brown. It is a deep, deep brown, which I love. And then I also like their Casa Zeta-Jones. So they did a collaboration with Catherine Zeta-Jones, and they have this eye contact liner pencil in Beach Bronze. That's what it's called. Oh my goodness, that's such a beautiful color too. And these both stay all day. They don't smear during the day. They don't rub off. I love the Wonder 2 eyeliners for very long wearing liners. Now let's finish up with the lips. Let's go back to the perfect face, because they have the perfect lip color. And this one is in called Savoir Faire. It's number 492. It's what I am wearing now, though I am wearing a touch of gloss over it. When I started doing makeup on my makeup clients, I pretty much was putting Pillow Talk on everyone. Fair skin, medium skin, dark skin. I would use Pillow Talk. It's very matte, and so then I would add on a gloss. The same gloss I'm going to talk about here, the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, and I would use Fenty Glow, which is kind of a warmer shade, or this one is Fussy, F-U $$Y. So, and this one is more of a pink undertone, and I'm wearing the pink one right now. But after I went to Houston, I discovered this Savoir Faire shade. And one, it is a beautiful texture. It's not a matte. I love the feeling of this lipstick going on. But this became the perfect shade that I put on everyone. Light skin, dark skin, and everyone was like, what shade is that? Where can I get that makeup? So the perfect face, Savoir Faire, has the perfect kind of pinky peachy, yeah, it's a pinky peachy nude. Now they do have one also called Natural. It is definitely more going into the browns. When I want a more brown nude lip, I like to use this one. Again, they're so creamy and they feel so good on the skin. And to powder my face, I am using the Chanel Le Beiges Healthy Glow Luminous Color in Medium. I loved the coverage. I loved when sometimes when I felt I didn't get things blended perfectly, it just kind of pulls everything together. I use a big fluffy brush. I'll just put a little bit more on. Yeah, I just love this. Sometimes I could use this alone just over a lightly tinted moisturizer or a tinted sunscreen, and the two together would give me that beautiful glow. Yeah, it's really pretty. And the mascara that I've been loving using, because I can sweat all day, I can have sunglasses on, I can be hitting my glasses and I don't get a ton of stuff and goop on my glasses, and that is from City Beauty. I haven't really heard anybody talk about the mascara. It's a Beyond Mascara. It's a volumizing treatment. So besides it being a wonderful mascara that does not smear in the humidity or anything, but it is also conditioning your lashes. And I will say the lash conditioner, I don't have it here, it's in my bathroom, that I've been using has also been from City Beauty. So it doesn't have that ingredient, that proglasta, I can't even say it, the ingredient that's in Latisse that some people are trying to avoid because it can darken your eyelids, darken your under eyes, and even darken light colored eyes, but it makes your lashes super long and super thick. So you got to balance that out. But I have not been using it for over 2 months now, and I've been using the Beyond Mascara and the Bare Lash Conditioner, and I'm thinking I'm starting to see, well, I'm definitely seeing the length. I mean, look at this. Okay, and that's it. That's all of the products that I am recommending today that I don't hear other people talk about. Let me know if you have some of your favorite secret products down in the comments below. Don't forget to check out Melissa's video, and I will put it up here. And then also you might enjoy my video on the makeup I wore before YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.